When I say intellectual property, like say the line itself says, okay, intellectual property, whatever you create through your intellectual abilities, that has to be protected as well. It is not just the physical properties that needs to be protected, even the things that are created through your mind, that has to be protected. Because for suppose, let's say Neha only, right? Neha has come up with some kind of innovation. Okay, like say in our Coolie movie, okay, where the guy comes up with that machine where he where the dead bodies will be in an environmental friendly manner, they are dismantled. Okay, they are burnt. Okay, through using some kind of technology and all. So these things require so much of time, energy, and those are very important for the growth of the country, progress of the country. For suppose Neha has innovated something and I have took up from her without compensating to her, without giving any compensation. For suppose either me or the government has took away her innovation. So next time Neha will say, okay Naveen, you also don't do anything there. This country, these people are not good. So I have invested 10 years, 15 years. Okay, so they have not given me any incentive. Let's not do anything. So with this happen, if this thing happens, if this thing continues, so there would not be any kind of technological progress anywhere, whether it in this country or anywhere. So recognizing this thing, so worldwide they have thought we need to provide some kind of protection to the intellectual property. So intellectual property includes various things. For suppose you are a musician or you are singing a song, then or you have written a book and all, artistic skills. These are called as artistic skills. Then I will be giving you the copyright. So copyright, artistic skills is one type of the intellectual property. I have done innovation. I have innovated something which is new, which is revolutionary, which is not there, and it is going to create a very large impact. So then I will be given protection in the form of patent. So you might have heard so many times the word patent. So when I say IPR, intellectual property, protection to your intellectual property in a form of rights. So there are various forms, especially patents is one such form of right, and then copyrights, then primarily trademarks and trade designs.
Registered also.
Huh?
Registered.
What registered?
For the company's car on registered.
Registered and if something has to be registered, whether it is a trademark or trade design. For suppose when I say trade design, it is talking about the visual visual appearance, the car style, the car look or bottle style. Okay, that is called the design. So they'll do the registration, of course. When I say patent, it is especially talking about the innovation. So you have innovated something creative is there, something new you have created. Okay, it is not discovered, it has been created. Discovered means what existing thing is there, you have discovered. Innovation means something new you have generated. Okay, so why this thing is required? So these things or whatever it is, so you guys can here again generate the points. Now if I have to think why such rights are needed, why rights are needed or why protection is needed. So like I said, to promote innovation, future, to promote innovation, to encourage investment, duplication, what duplication? Okay, to protect, that is the right word, to protect the originality. Fraud, check the fraud. Okay, for suppose if there is no proper protection to any like say Apple design or anything, many such products would have come up. Okay, or just change of name and then the same name can be used. It will create the confusion into the so it will also protect not just the investor or innovator, it will also protect the customer by giving them authenticity. Those products are authentic. Whatever the products I am purchasing, so authenticity will be there. And this also plays role in the marketing or commercialization of the product. Plays role in the commercialization of the product. New admission. Okay. Okay. So that's why we have to provide a kind of legal framework both at home, domestically, and also internationally. We need protection for these systems. At the international level, we have the WIPO, World Intellectual Patent Organization. Not patent organization, World Intellectual, I think Intellectual Property Organization. What is a WIPO full form? Once again. Now, World Intellectual Property Organization. So this has various conventions internationally to protect your intellectual property. At the domestic level, different laws at the country level, they are offering the patents, and these laws differ country to country. For suppose we are offering at the India level different patents. So this will restrict themselves to only to that specific country. So laws will differ country wise, and every country has their own legal regime to protect the patent things. Now here comes, sometimes developed countries like USA and all, they do question the India's intellectual protection rights capacity. They will say, so India is not capable of providing the proper protection. They will provide the restrictions. For suppose even if the people file the patents, India is not quick in giving the patent approval. So these kind of allegations they keep on doing against the India. But in case of India also, we need to check. Sometimes what they will do is, they will make minor modifications. Okay, for suppose I have given the protection to the Neha for 20 years. Okay, so whatever the machine she has invented, okay, that machine can only be utilized by her only for the 20 years. Totally 20 years she can use. So everyone should purchase only from the Neha. So now whatever the time and energy Neha has put, so she is getting the returns. So she must have took 20, 30, 40 years. Now using those 20 years, she is getting the returns. Later on, after 20 years, Neha might come with making small changes. Okay, black color chair has become the white color chair. New innovation. She might ask again patent for 20 more years. This is called evergreening. No change. Without making any change, you are asking for the further again patenting. So now it would be a burdensome for the consumer. So you are when there is patenting means there is a monopoly. Neha alone can produce that product, even through different processes. Okay, for suppose Naveen will come and okay, sir, I will not use the process used by the Neha. I have done the reverse engineering. I have done the different. I have used different method. So finally, I am arriving at that product, the same chair which in the Coolie movie Neha has used. Okay, so this is called reverse engineering technique, which Indians used to do. Okay, they used to come up with the branded medicines. We used to do reverse engineering and finally come up with the generic medicines. Okay, but we were dragged to the WTO. Then we have changed our patent law. Indian Patents Act got changed, and then we have given product patenting. That means even the different processes cannot be used. No reverse engineering is allowed. So totally there is a product patent. So like this, various debates, various questions keep on arising. We'll go one after other. So we'll start. So intellectual property rights are the legal rights granted to the creators for their intellectual creations. These rights offer the creators exclusive control over the use of their creation for a certain time. They are the legal privileges granted to the inventor or creator to safeguard their intellectual work in the arts, science, literature for a specific period of time. These legal rights grant the inventor the sole right to fully exploit the invention or creation of their mind. Okay, so this is the thing. Like I said, at the international level, the body that is implementing this thing is to bringing the coordination is World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO. It oversees the international treaties. At the international level, how this thing has to be done, how the intellectual property has to be protected. So there are certain treaties, various treaties are there, which is governed by this WPO. Okay, WIPO. Okay, so first let's start. Patents. So for how many years patent will be granted? 20 years. This is the part that you have to remember. It grants inventors exclusively control to use or sell their invention. So for 20 years, no one can do. Okay, say for so generally this is used in the pharma industry. Okay, whatever the branded drugs which you purchase, the cost of these branded drugs are very high. Okay, once the patent is over after 20 years, okay, then you will be given license. Another person can also generate that same medicine. Okay, but only after the 20 years. Now those medicines which has the same chemical formula but not the same brand, these are called the generic medicines. The price will be so much different. Okay, Jan Aushadhi Kendras, have you heard this thing? Government is promoting the Jan Aushadhi Kendras, which are nothing but the generic medicines. They are promoting the generic medicines, affordable medicines. Even now, generally, even after the patent is over, even though there are generic medicines, usually we people buy only branded drugs. Okay, generally, even in the hospitals, when you go and visit doctor, they will offer you only branded drugs, and we will feel risky to go for the generic drugs, but they are having almost everything same. All the chemical composition, application, everything is same. But somehow we are little nervous because it is not branded. Okay, so we prefer in brand. Okay, yeah, that's what you have to remember. So 20 years, try to remember. Copyrights come to first thing. Copyrights. It is basically provided for the 50 years. Some copyright thing for the learning purposes is allowed. Okay, for suppose sometimes when we use Hindu for the preparation purposes, some article clip, those things, or sometimes you will also do the printing. Okay, some books and all. Some people will go and file the cases in the court, but when you are using that content for preparation purposes, not for the commercial thing, and without causing any loss to the creator, some kind of usage is allowed. It cannot be called as a piracy. Piracy means whatever completely you are doing commercialization and selling all those things. Okay, so those things will happen. So those things needs to be kept in mind. So this thing includes literary workers, include books, music, films, and the softwares. Enable creators to control how the works are done. Geographical indications. We have done this thing in very detail. Okay. Yeah. So question will not go beyond that. Okay. So basically, this is about the territory. Okay. Goods originating from that area. So we are giving these things for the agriculture items and the manufacturing items. So from that area, it is originating. So basically, it is also giving protection to the consumer who is consuming that product. So they will feel more assured, and the market for the local people, because they are getting the GI tag. Whenever their products are sold, their brand value is increased because the GI tag is given, like say Kolhapuri chappals. So the farmers, the local artisans, the people of that area will get more benefited. So this is required for the local people development. Somehow it is also a brand kind of thing. From that area it has originated. Okay, but you should be quick in delivering this patents or approval of this GI and all, or else some other people, for suppose in the Basmati, Pakistan will take the GI. Turmeric, in the USA they are trying to apply for the turmeric and all. Huh? That is there. Different products, different thing. Okay. Now, see, trade, industrial designs, the part I was talking about, the visual appearance part. So for suppose this is a OnePlus phone. So this should be in the same way, whatever it is, the OnePlus. Now this is a OnePlus, this style is a trademark. Okay, trademark is different, trade is the Rajamouli symbol. Okay, trademark, SS. Okay, trademark. Trade design means how it looks and all. So even trade secrets are also protected because you are going into the Babarchi, how this thing getting cooked. Okay, again you are coming in, implementing it here. Coca-Cola, Thumbs Up. I think there is some controversy with the Thumbs Up also. Okay, the Coca-Cola guys have done this thing, something. Okay, once you get the secrets, how this thing, that particular thing is made, that entire business will be lost. So protection will also be provided to the trade secrets. Every time, timely registrations has to be done in order to provide the protection for the trade secrets. It can be extended n number of times. Only for the patents, it is restricted for the 20 years. Okay. These are the main things. Now see, in India, this plant varieties are kept out of it, kept out of the patents. For suppose, okay, using some plant, you have generated a medicine. You have done an invention and you have discovered something using the plants. Now you cannot claim the patents as per the Patent Acts. It is kept out of this Plant Varieties and Protection Act, because when we say plant, that is a kind of indigenous resource, local resource. It is not just your innovation. You are using the local resource. So it has to be dealt through completely different law called Plant Varieties and the Protection Act. It is not dealt through your innovation aspect. Even there the production will be provided, but actually the essence of that act is the resources, whatever the money the innovator gets, it has to be shared with the local people also. Or else biopiracy can happen. Our resources, we are a high biodiverse country. Whatever the plan, there might be multiple things. So a person might come, okay, they might take away our resources, this thing can happen, and they are patenting our products, which is our native product. So that's why we are dealing these things in a different format. We are not operating with the same act, that is a patent act. Okay. So these things, these provide the development, economic growth, cultural enrichment, consumer production, and the global trade. So these points I have gave you. Okay, why there is a need. See, these things in the mains you should be able to generate. I am asking you to always brainstorm, always keep thinking, what is the need? Why are we doing this thing? Now, see, we are going to discuss Khap Panchayats, anti-conversion laws. So, what is the need for anti-conversion law? First, whatever comes to your mind, you first start thinking. Anything which you come across, even you take this digital board, what is the need? What are the things? So, like this, you should be able to generate the points, 5, 6, 7 points in the mains that is going to help you a lot. So, when you do this thing for the general studies, when you are brainstorming things, then questions will arise in your mind. So, accordingly, when there are questions in your mind, when you study the content, they will automatically fit in that area. But questions itself are not there. Even if I throw content towards you, it will go from the top. Okay, so keep raising the questions. Protection of Plant Varieties Act. Whenever the biological resources are included during the time of the innovation, it is kept out of the Indian Patents Act in India. Okay, we are not including them. We are not going to provide the patent. If you do any innovation using the biological resources, some plant, turmeric or whatever it is, neem, you have found out some kind of antibacterial thing, medicine and all. But I will not give you the patent using the Indian Patent Act. It will be denied. Okay, you have to apply through the Plant Varieties and Protection Act. There is a separate law for this because these are the local biological resources. The intention is, since it is a local resource, your innovation is dependent on this local resource. So the local people also should get the benefits of that area, of the innovation. So that is the prime intention. We have kept this Plant Varieties and Protection Act out of the purview of the Patent Act and Patent Protection. So I have this thing. So see this, why many various articles that is coming in the news is basically this thing. Long back, before a decade, we used to have very less patent filing. In India, geographical indication is totally different. GI tag. Darjeeling tea. GI. Patent is different thing. Maybe if they have, first they'll get the GI tag. Now you are designing something, manufacturing thing and all. So that is for totally different thing. Okay, there may be a trade designing, you are applying something you are developing and all. But if the product is originating from that area, only then GI will come into the picture. It has nothing to do with the designing aspect and all. So you will decide based on the origin of area. Only from that area, okay, something is originating and that part becomes significant to distinct that to make a distinction of that product originating from the different area. We will provide the geographical indication. So it is linked with the geography only. It has nothing to do with the designing and all. Okay, clear? This aspect is clear.
How many years production of plant varieties?
Production of plant varieties, it will be given for 10-15 years and all. Will go with that law in a different again. Okay, it is not 20 years. Okay, the years are different here. We will get into that thing again. Okay, that has to be dealt separately.
Geographical indication and production of plant variety will come in this week.
See, when we geography indication, geographical indication, that is about the geography. From that area, one product is coming. For suppose Tirupati Laddu, when we are saying Tirupati Laddu, it is from the Tirupati area. Even those West Bengals, what is those sweets? White color sweets. What are those sweets? Rasgulla. So it has nothing to do with the plant variety or anything. Okay, so we are talking about the geography. There people have produced that. Okay, here we are not including the biological things here. When we include resources, biological resources, then comes the Plant Varieties and Protection Act. Clear? Intellectual property, those basic part is clear. So now the news articles is related to this thing. So the patent filings or approvals are increasing. There was a scenario we used to face various problems. Initially, the patent filing itself was very low. Previously, the scenario. Filing itself was very low. No one has proper awareness regarding the patents. It is a very hefty process. It involves money. First, if I have to file a patent, it is a very cumbersome process back then. There is no one-stop solution. In order to file the patent, I have to go through different regulatory bodies in order to file the patent. So once I file, and then approval becomes much more hard. Here, the filing itself is not there because innovation is lacking, awareness is lacking, support is lacking. Because in India, hey, don't do innovation, do some job. Okay, we do not have that kind of innovative or entrepreneurship mindset. Safety, generally in India, we go for why government job, a kind of safety. That is a thing. Okay, so in majority of the cases, there is a issue of mindset itself. Even if you do some kind of innovation, like where something like saying like I shown in the movie where he didn't get the patent and all, so the approval is not happening. This is a very difficult process, and many people do not also have the awareness how to file. Like say for suppose PhD scholars are there, but those people generally, if the person is doing PhD, if you have taken any subject, you are doing the PhD, they just do copy paste kind of thing. They are really not involved in the research, at least majority of the people. Okay, this is not leading to the right level of innovation. Okay, so these things are gradually changing. People are being asked to produce the articles in a genuine manner. A new cell, intellectual property cell, has been created in the various education universities. So this thing, they are actually promoting the professors to write articles, to spend some time on the innovations. So gradually these trends are changing, and there are also scenarios of the petty patents. It's not necessary always patent means very big and huge innovation. There would be some small minor things also, which we can call as a petty patents. So people do not have awareness how this process can be filed, how to get benefits of this. We can do the commercialization and we can generate the money. This thing was missing. After 2014, especially during the 2016, government has come up with the Intellectual Property Rights Policy, IPR Policy. From then onwards, they have created a unified body. So one body will be taking care of all the intellectual property rights related approvals. We'll see. So from then onwards, process got simplified. They have tried to make awareness generation, and they have also introduced various schemes like Kapila is one such scheme where they are trying to promote the innovation, bring the awareness regarding the filing up of the patents and all. Niti Aayog is also doing this Atal Tinkering Labs. They are also coming up with the various hand-holding exercises, providing the support to the people to file the patents. So with this, trend is gradually changing. Even the economic survey has mentioned the amount of patents that are being filed, the amount of registrations that are happening regarding the industrial designs, trademarks, they are gradually, good number of, not just gradually, they are rising a lot. Even our ranking in the report released by the WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organization, Global Innovation Index, there also our rank has improved. Somewhere we used to be in 60, 70, like that. Now we have reached to 39. If I remember, we have taken, once it was the news, we have taken that thing. Global Innovation Index, rank 39, India's ranking. 2 months back, we have done this thing. This is the scenario. So that's the reason we are going through this thing. This is how, see now, this is a diagram I'll use in the mains. Not always that sun mark diagram. Okay. So people only use, no, this is also diagram. In the economy, these diagrams add value. The schemes add value. How do you make answer look like an economic answer? Okay. So this is how I'll show the graphs. the rise, growth. No, this see, government itself, they have used this thing, PIB. Authenticity will be more. So when you government itself you is using this kind of diagrams, why not you? So use this kind of diagrams. So patent to GDP ratio increase from 144 to 381. Then patent growth. See, these are the factual details. I will take it to the exam hall. I'll by heart. Many things will not change much. So unless something major facts come, I will by heart this thing. Educational institutions, the patent filing rose to 43%. Indian residents filed 56% of the patent, up from the 25% in the 2013. So these are the facts, very important. So whatever the applications doubled, grants also doubled. This is the point I was trying to highlight. So India overtook the US as the second largest recipient of the granted patents in the 2021. Same thing is happening with the industrial designs, trademarks, and the processing capacity. So whatever the capacity constraints we had, I told you the officials who are involved in this, the process itself is very difficult. So now they have done the institutional reforms. Because of this institutional reforms, all these things are changing. Patent office top-up has increased. So these things have changed. See here, we have this thing. We have Patents Act, Designs Act, Trademarks Act, and the Geographical Indications Act. So the Indian Patent Act is administered by the Office of the Controller General of the Patent, Design, Trademarks, or CGB TDM. So this is the body, single body. It is taking care of all the things. Okay, so this patents, designs, and the trademarks. This will remove the confusion. So I have increased the office capacity. Governance related issues I have changed. I have also in the education also. See here. In the universities, IP cells have created. A dedicated university units in the institutions like IITs to assist with the patent filing. Okay. So if you are in the preparation and if you are doing some kind of research to support you, I have created the proper IP cells. And then here Kapila, I told you many people are also not having clarity about this utilization of the patent and the commercialization. So Kapila is a new scheme, very good important scheme where I am talking about the IP literacy and awareness to promote the IP awareness in the higher education. The Atal Innovation Mission I told about and the National IPR Policy. So with this, the growth has increased. Direct question will come this year or next year. Discuss the status or progress of patent regime in India. Direct answer, question and answer format, done. 6 out of 10. All the factual things, these kind of factual things can be asked in the prelims. So which is the office that is taking care of the registration aspect? Now, what are the challenges? Still, like I have discussed previously also, the amount of spending that we do in the research and development is very low. It is 0.65%, while it is 3.6% and 2.4% in the China. And the private sector participation in the research and development is very low. 30% is private sector and rest of the 60-70% is coming from the government sector only. Okay, and the innovation is happening in a fragmented way. Some IIT Kanpur is doing something, IIT Bombay is doing something else. Maybe they are doing same thing, but there is no linkages between these institutions. So there is unnecessarily wastage of the resources. And also sometimes the academy is doing something, but industries want something else. There is no industry and academia linkages. So still these are the problems that are associated with the innovation that is going on. So in your patent regime, still there is a low R&D spending, and still we are still short of this application approval process and all. Trademark registration stagnated at 2.5 to 3 lakh per year. 24-25 patent grants may drop to 45,000 from 1 lakh in the 2023-2024. So still the process is lengthy and complex regulations are there. And another thing is compulsory licensing. We will discuss about this. What is the compulsory licensing and the appellate board. So you have filed patent, but patent got rejected. Now you have to file some case. So previously there used to be a tribunal. This is the tribunal, Intellectual Property Appellate Board. In the 2021, tribunalization reforms have been done. There they have abolished this appellate boards. Now if you get any problem, where will you go since this is blocked? Supreme Court, High Court. Okay, so this is a very important prelims question that you need to have the clarity. So this is about this thing. So are we clear so far? So are we clear so far? So why the US is not happy with this India's IPR regime is, so they say you simplify the process. Currently in our Patent Act, previously, see World Intellectual Patent Organization is doing its job internationally in a separate manner. Apart from this, we also have the WTO. We have WIPO at the international level. They implement something. Apart from this, we also have the WTO, where you have the TRIPS agreement regarding the intellectual property, especially focusing on the patents. TRIPS. This is one of the agreement in the WTO. Whoever has signed this TRIPS agreement, they have to provide the proper protection to the patents. We have signed this TRIPS agreement. So that's why, according to this thing, we have changed our Patent Act. Patent Act 1971. Whatever the previously Patent Act we had, so this was previously for the only for the process patenting. So like Naveen said, okay, he will arrive at the same product using the different process. But as per the TRIPS, it has to be product patenting. Product patenting. Okay, so we have amended the Patent Act to provide the not the process patent but the product patent. This change we have already done. But still, why is the US angry? There is a clause in the TRIPS itself. There is a clause of compulsory licensing. What is this? This is the controversy thing. For suppose some disease has happened or some kind of virus started to cause harm, like during time of the COVID. Now during that scenario, Nikhil has invented something, okay, but he is saying I will not provide this vaccine to anyone. Cost is 2 crore or die. He is saying that thing. Okay. Now considering the threat to the life of the people, government can give the compulsory licensing. So they can pay some royalty to the Nikhil, even the Nikhil is not willing. This is as per the TRIPS only. This is not the Indian innovation. It is allowed as per the TRIPS, the world agreement. So I can give the license to some other person who can develop that medicine. So Ashrit will develop the medicine. I have given the licensing. Even the Nikhil is not willing. So Ashrit has been given the license. So in India, we have used twice or thrice. But just like normal developed countries, they want to put pressure on India so that we don't offer compulsory licensing to anyone in the future. If generally, if say any US company got the patent in India, okay, now we are offering compulsory license to some other company, okay, for some other purpose, to for the health concerns. So we will see if it is really health threatening and the current company prices are very high, then we can offer the compulsory licensing. This is approved as per the TRIPS of WTO. This is their problem. The second problem is, this is the first problem. Compulsory licensing concept is clear. The second problem that I have mentioned is evergreening. Just making small modifications after 20 years, again they file patent. Like it has happened in the Nexavar, a kind of pharma company, where they have filed patent after 20 years by making small changes. We denied. Even the Supreme Court has denied. Okay, so US says, hey, no, your patent regime is not good. Okay, I do this thing. Okay, So we don't respond. Okay, so this is another problem. So of course, only when there is substantial evidence of innovation, only then we will offer the patent, right? And third point, data exclusivity. This is also huge controversial thing. Data exclusivity. What is this data exclusivity? So Nikhil has developed the medicine and he has gone through various innovations, all the data. So whatever the case studies he has gone through, whatever the clinical trials he has gone through, so there is a huge compilation of the data. Now this data has to be there with the government. It is the India stand, because after 20 years then he is releasing the data. Okay, then how is it possible for the other company to do that analysis again? Then it may take 10 more years. So after 20 years Nikhil is releasing the data. So even if other person wants to release do something on this, they do not have the data. Okay, India says, India's clause is from beginning itself the data should be available with the government authorities. But they say the developed countries, generally you will see whenever the FTA is happening, this discussion will come many times. This article will appear at least twice or thrice in the news every year. Some discussion will happen and this will come. So those developed countries, including Japan, European countries, USA, they call for the data exclusivity. That means as long as the patent is there, they want to hold it. And even after the patent regime is over, they want to hold this data exclusivity. So then it becomes very difficult for the other person to come up with the generic one. So these are the three things which India takes a very tough stand, and it is a very genuine stand. Okay, there is nothing wrong in the India stand. But USA, they try to arm twist us. They release the USTR. There is a body, trade representatives body in the USA. They release the special 301 report and they will give the very poor ratings to India. India is not doing anything. Okay, so Mr. whoever is the president is there from they'll say India is not doing enough and all. Okay, so when we have released IPR Policy 2016, they thought, they expected that we are going to do something. We are going to bring, we are going to eliminate this thing out of the USA pressure and all. But nothing has been announced from our side in the so far, even from then. So those things, they are like say they can't, like say India is not a pawn. We want to work as per our terms. You can't arm twist us. We are not a small nation. Okay, to put pressure, don't purchase from them. See here. Now this is since Putin, not Putin, the Trump, the more pressure he puts. Okay, like say with China, we were not on the talking terms for 5 years. Now things are resolving. So somehow because of USA, so our relationships with China are improving. RIC. So, huh? RIC. Okay. So we don't know what will happen with RIC, but still, at least at present time, there is little convergence of interest. So when they put excess pressure, so it will be detrimental to the USA themselves. So we came together because there was some kind of convergence of interest after 9/11 attacks. Like say after 1989, India has also faced multiple terrorist attacks and all. So two big democratic countries, we thought we can cooperate on various terms. But the way USA is putting pressure, this is not beneficial for the India's sovereignty. India is not a nation who can bend and be twisted. India has its own principles. We put our nation first. Okay, whatever the foreign policy is there, it will be guided based on the nation's interest, whether it is benefiting the nation or not. Only then comes the other things. So as they are not benefiting the nation, so we are not accepting them. So those things are there. So are we clear? So these issues. So now currently what are the concerns? So this is also one of the concern. Okay, just we can mention for the point purposes in the issues. These things we can mention. The issue of the compulsory licensing and the evergreening that you can mention here. Used in cases like Nexavar, cancer drug, raising concerns about the innovation incentives. Okay, you can mention that particular point. So are we clear? Are we clear? Is this clear so far? Easy? but questions will come from this area, and easy questions only people will miss out. I don't understand really why. These are the things that keep on happening, and yet when the people don't answer in the mains, that would be very surprising for me. See here, now we have understood all the issues related to the intellectual patent thing. So whenever you do not know the policy, see, even if you do not know the policy, you will be able to generate at least 3 or 4 points. So what will they talk about the policy in the policy? So these are the concerns. So if the question is given, discuss about the IPR policy of India, even if you do not know, so you will talk about promotion of the petty patents, commercialization of the patents, awareness generation, simplifying of the patent regime, rising the innovation, reducing the bridges gap between the academia and industry. Skill mismatch has to be reduced. These are the points that you will talk about based on the concerns. That's what they will do the policy, whatever it is. So even if you do not know, if the question comes for the mains, if you know broadly what is happening, so you will be able to answer. Okay. So now go through this thing. So they are talking about the awareness, generate more and more IPRs, simplify the laws, simplify the administration management, commercialization of the IPR, properly enforce it, and also make human capital development, and there should be one body, CBUM, okay, to promote the awareness, streamlining IP process. A cell for IPR promotion and management has been created in order to advance the implementation of your thing. So this thing, India, like I have discussed about the US Chamber of Commerce ranks 55 countries, and India has been given 42nd rank. Now see the Indian Patents Act. This is the act I was talking about, 1970 Patent Act. They are talking about, you don't have to mug up all the features. At least 3-4 features you remember. So 20 years patent term, they talk about what kind of things that has to be provided a patent, and they are anti-evergreening, and they talk about how the process has to be done and how the revocation will be done, and it is a TRIP compliance. Okay, and some things will be kept out of this thing. Okay, where it is, I have mentioned this. So whatever the plant varieties are kept out of this thing. Okay, so okay, see here section 3D. Section 3D is very important. This is the provision that prevents the evergreening. This provision is specifically designed to prevent the evergreening by requiring that any new form of new substances must show increased efficacy, or else it will not be done. Okay, the patent term is for the 20 years. So this is how we are trying to balance. So I have given what do you mean by evergreening? What do you mean by the compulsory licensing? Compulsory licensing is a provision under the trade-related aspects of the intellectual property rights that allows a government to permit a third-party license to produce a patented product without the consent of the patent owner. Without the consent of, that's why I gave an example. Without the consent of Nikhil, after this given the license to promote something. That's what I have discussed. Na? Cancer, Nexavar, that was a pharma company. Okay, and there was it has, yeah, primarily health concerns. Yeah, that's the reason where it is really detrimental to the people. Okay, in that cases, really it is there and there is no alternative. Government will decide, not WTO. Indian government will decide. That's why the USA highlights the problem, because India has given previously for the cancer drug, they have given a compulsory license. A cell created in the created to implement this policy, to streamline the procedures, whatever the IPR policy that we are talking, to implement those things. So usually different cells will be created to attract the one-stop solution. Okay, just like to provide the one-stop solution for the procedures to be happened in a smooth manner and all. So new cell has been created to implement this IPR policy 2016. Are we clear? So I have given everything. Okay, see here about the compulsory licensing. The Indian government can issue a compulsory licensing to generic manufacturing, allowing them to produce a patent drug when the drug is not available at an affordable prices, or if there is a public health emergency. Nikhil, when the drug is not available at affordable prices, or when there is a public health emergency. Okay, it is given there. So in the context of the Novartis case, the use of compulsory licensing is a critical tool in India's effort to balance the patent production and the public health needs. If the Novartis were to succeed, it leads to the anti-evergreening. Okay, so those things just go through. Now this is for the factual thing for the prelims. World Intellectual Property Organization. So they are an international body. They are taking care of the protection of your patent design, a separate institutional structure. So there are various conventions under it. When you sign this thing, when you sign these conventions, you are bound to accept their procedures and methodologies to implement those things. So there are various conventions. These things can also be asked. Paris Convention for the industrial property, Berne Convention for the copyright, Budapest recognized microorganisms deposits for their patent procedures, Marrakesh Treaty facilitates the book access for the visually impaired, TRIPS agreement we have already seen. Okay, Patent Cooperation Treaty simplifies international patent applications. So have idea about this various convention under the WPO. And what is the report they release? WPO Innovation Index. Okay, see here, Global Innovation Index that was released by the WIPO. Okay, we have got the 39th rank, World Intellectual Patent Organization. Okay, so when I start any question with regarding the innovation, okay, there was once a direct question asked, what do you mean by the innovation? Okay, it is described as a development and application of ideas and technologies that improve goods and services or make their production more efficient. So whatever the technology is there, when you apply those things to make it more efficient, we call it as an innovation. So there was a, what do you understand by the concept of innovation? They have asked this thing. Okay, so when some questions comes, India is lacking in innovation, India is lacking in a patent regime, or if the question is asked, recently in the last decade, India has done well in the patenting regime, comment. So I will start with WPO, World IPO's Innovation Index, rank has improved to the 39th rank. So we are doing good. Then, okay, the government data itself has indicated the more number of filing up of the patents and approval of the patents are also happening. So I will start with this data to substantiate, to start my introduction. Then I will get into the body. So what are the ways in which it is changing and currently what challenges are there, what more needs to be done. That's it done. So this is where we have basically focused primarily on the patenting and all. Okay, basically we are here, the things overlap, but primarily when I say here the innovation, okay, what kind of innovations we have, the same things it will overlap, but just for the clarity purposes I have kept those things, intellectual property regime separately and the innovation separately. This is the aspect of the innovation. What is the thing that stops the innovation in India? What are the challenges for the innovation? You can easily generate points. You guys generate in a proper orderly manner challenges of innovation in India. See, first, education is prerequisite. I cannot skill the person who do not have even basic education. So this prerequisite is missing in India. If I don't provide the proper education, okay, which is currently we are struggling at, especially the quality of the education at the government schools is pathetic. It is not changing. And even at the private institutions, the education is more of rote learning. There is no curiosity. Okay, so how many of you, like say during the educations and all, during education time itself have learned other than learning various other skills? Like how many of you might be having clarity on how to open the, about the financial awareness, how to take up the failures, okay, how to communicate, how to talk to the people, okay, so, or how to lead things, okay, so these things we learn through games, activities. But as far as I remember, whenever there is a games period, so some other teacher will come. Okay, max, extra class for the max, science, social. Okay, so that quality is lacking here. Rote learning is going on. Somehow every institution wants ranks. Okay, school topper 550 plus 570, 590. Okay, but they do not know anything. So it does not make much sense. So from the school itself, students are going through a lot of pressure. There is no incentive towards the STEM courses. STEM means scientific courses, where you are thinking a lot, where there is a curiosity about this thing, and there is also, you here at the school time period, you should be able to get awareness about all the subjects and what is the subject which is giving you the interest. It can be science, it can be law, whatever things, but generally these things do not happen at the school level. So if this thing is not there, so it will affect the whatever the skill that you want to do. it says, some study says, in India, hardly 20% of the BTech graduates are skilled enough to provide any kind of employment. This is the scenario. Okay, even when I studied, okay, or even in the 1970s, 80s, whatever the syllabus is there in the BTech, the same thing, even now it is going on. Okay, those same semiconductors, integrated chips and all, even though they are outdated, the same things are being taught. Okay, so there is no updation of the curriculum. The curriculum is the education problems, the curriculum is missing, and like I said, the skill should be industry relevant. This is a prime problem. Why the people, like, see, why the Infosys and all, they have to spend 1 year for the skilling itself? You might be knowing. Okay, the ones long back, I think 2007 time period, when my brother got a software job. Okay, I think so. This was the early days where software was booming. Okay, so then he got in the Infosys. So he took all of us to show, okay, that the training campus and all, to show, okay, so that's how the Infosys has started, and they'll train people for 6 months. Now they have stopped. Now, if you have the skill, they are hiring because the supply of labor is increased. Okay, so that's why students are under stress. So now they are putting a lot of stress. Okay, this center and that center they want to go and somehow learn the skills, because companies are saying we'll hire only the people who are skilled enough. Okay, they are changing the policies. Okay, this thing. So their industries are spending a lot to skill more, because you are teaching in the schools and colleges something else. There is no requirement for that thing, but you are teaching something else. And various institutions are providing the skill, and there is no curriculum for the skill. So what should be the framework of the skill? There is no skill university. Like say you have the University Grants Commission for the education. Where is such framework for the skilling? There is no such standards. What should be the framework should be taught for the skill things? So completely fragmented. Various industries, various organizations, various ministries, they are providing their own skill. Nothing is being provided. So this is a major problem. And then attitude and mindset is the problem. So there is a culture of job safety in India than the innovation. This problem we will mention even in the why there is less entrepreneurship in India. So usually we prefer a kind of job security, job safety. Okay, so that is there. So entrepreneurship, attitude and risk taking ability is not there. So the rest of the problems, definitely for the innovation. Okay, well, we can talk about, okay, so where, resources in terms of what? So yeah, that is the first point we have mentioned, right? So whatever the investment that we are putting, the R&D, that is not there. Okay, that is 0.67%. That is a major first point. We do not have the necessary spending. That should be the first point. After that comes all this point. Whatever the institutions are there. Okay, how many institutions are there in the global top 100 rankings? I think we are starting from 120, 124 or something. Recently, our top rankings, we are in somewhere in the 120 place. Okay, that also recently we have improved. In the global top 100 universities, none of our institutions come. Okay, so the quality is missing. So these are the various problems why we are lacking the innovation in India. Okay, skill gap, and there is also brain drain, lack of opportunities, making people to relocate or move away from India towards the other countries. Okay, so that is also problem, and regulatory burdens, bureaucratic hurdles are always there. Okay, so these points you can talk about. See here, the culture attitude towards innovation. So that's why we have changed this thing, and then government. This is specifically with the SNT. We have started various things in order to promote the innovation and all. We are doing some certain things. Now see, this is in the news, Anusandhan Research Foundation. This is promoted to this ANRF Research Foundation Act. Especially they are trying to provide the funding to promote the research and development in India. We want this thing. See, even if we want to do, we want to make ourselves stable in the defense industry. So we want research, we want innovation, which should not be lagging in India at any cost. Like we have mentioned, by 2047, energy security. Yesterday in the previous session, we have discussed about the clean energy and all. So how those things will come up? Methane economy, green hydrogen economy, or biofuels and all. So how those things can come up? Only when you have the research, innovation things. So that's why, so the Anusandhan Research Foundation, a new institution has been created which is taking care of the promoting of the science and technology and all, providing the funding and all, the collaboration that is required and all they are trying to bring. So I have given some schemes, Vigyan Dhara scheme by the Ministry of Science and Technology. These schemes are important from the prelims point of view. See, that's how. So my way of teaching or subject is, rather than going individual facts which will not store in your mind, teach the bigger concept, under the teach the schemes. Then it becomes very easy for you to remember and retain. So once we have done the broader concept of the intellectual property, so then you do the scheme. There is nothing difficult for you. Those factual things, like say, I'll just remember the Ministry of Science and Technology to promote the science and technology. Some thing. Only this much I can remember. Sometimes even that thing will do the job in the prelims. Okay. You have a social justice part where the schemes will be asked. Okay, but for the mains, the majority main schemes will be asked. For the prelims, some individual independent schemes can be asked. Kapila, what is the Kapila? What is the Kapila scheme? We have discussed.
2018 was introduced in 2020
For
intellectual property.
To do what? For intellectual property, for what? Awareness generation. That is a major point. They'll give that point only. Literacy, IP literacy and awareness generation. See here. So here comes various other things. So we are trying to skill 40 crore people. Skill India Mission 2014, even it is outdated. So even here the question can come. Skill India would be a different question. So what are the challenges or problems we face in the skilling sector? So we have these initiatives. Please go through. Uchatar Avishkar Yojana. Okay, I told you this encourages the collaboration between the academy and industry. So this is the problem. I have told you there is a linkage is missing. So that's why you have Uchatar Avishkar Yojana, where it is talking about that linkages only. And then Nidhi program supports the startups. Since we are lacking that entrepreneurship skills, so we don't want to do the business, we don't want to do the innovation. So that's why we are supporting Nidhi program to support the startups to do some innovation. Nidhi programs. So every ministry is coming up with the support centers. Niti Aayog is there. So TIDE scheme, Ministry of Electronics and Innovation, MIghty, to promote some kind of startups which can do the innovation. Seed fund means always about the origin. Whenever you are starting, then you got a seed fund. Okay. So this Ministry of Human Resource Development, this fund, this scheme is very important. Uchatar Avishkar Yojana. Okay. So that's all you need to remember. And then you also have this PM Stack. Okay. So where they are again trying to promote the science and technology by bringing proper coordination. It advises the Prime Minister. So you can go through, these are the factual things. Just have an idea. These schemes and all. Try solving this question. Okay, ignore the Doha at least. So basically Doha development is under discussions under the WTO. When the WTO was coming into picture, so we have gone through various agreements like TRIPS, they have all sat together, but developing countries said, see, this does not understand our concerns. Our concerns are not taken into the picture. So then they have started more discussions at the Doha, which is only taking the concerns of the developing countries. So they said, developing countries said, we will take up your concerns, developing countries' concerns, and it will be implemented through WTO. But it is kept, it was sidelined. Okay, so Doha development means it is talking about the developing countries. Okay. Ministry of Commerce is taking care of this intellectual property and all, and this is a body under the Ministry of Commerce. So we have not violated anything with the TRIPS, right? At least that part is you are clear, right? And this is a body, it is a nodal agency that is taking care of the IPRs, which is under the Ministry of Commerce. Answer should be both. According to Indian Patents Act, a biological process to create a seed can be patented in India. Plant varieties are not eligible to be patented in India. In India, there is no intellectual property appellate board. First one, right or wrong? According to Indian Patents Act, a biological process to create a seed can be patented in India. అందుకే క్లాస్ మొత్తం డిస్ట్రాక్ట్ అవ్వకుండా వినాలి. ఎన్నిసార్లు చెప్పా ఈ పాయింట్? హీ ఆస్క్డ్ డౌట్ ఆల్సో. ఓకే, సో దట్ పాయింట్ వాస్ జస్ట్ okay. So I expect everyone there should be 100% right answer for this. So this thing is wrong option. Plant varieties are not eligible. This is right.
Plants, protection of plants.
Yeah. So this is right. Now this point we have discussed under criticisms. This got abolished. So reforming of the tribunals, through reformation of the tribunals, they have closed this thing. But maybe they have, this question was asked in 2019. At that time, that did not happen. Now, if the question comes, so this thing is right. Back then, that was wrong option. So back then, the answer was 3 only. Currently, we do not have the tribunal. Appellate board is not there. Now it is 2 and 3. The statement is there. They anticipated probably UPSC in the 2021. They'll close it. That body they might have thought.